Today, we're diving into something that affects millions of us, the Private Provident Fund. We're going to call it the Guardian Game, and we'll break down exactly who is watching your company's PF to make sure your money is safe and sound.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. Does your company manage its own Provident Fund, or does it go through the government's EPFO? If your company is one of the ones that handles it in-house, then this explainer is talking directly about your retirement savings.
And if they do manage it themselves, you ever stop and wonder who's the referee in this whole setup? Who's making sure they're actually playing by the rules with your hard-earned money? Well, that's the big question we're digging into today.
Okay, let's get into it. Part 1 of our game. When a company manages its own Provident Fund, it's not just your average employer anymore. It's playing a very special role. Officially, it's called an exempted establishment.
So what on earth is an exempted establishment? It's actually pretty simple. It's a company that's gotten special permission to manage its employees' PF money through its very own private trust. So instead of sending all that cash over to the government's big EPFO pot, they get to handle it themselves.
Now, this leads us to the absolute golden rule of this entire game. The law is crystal clear on this point. The benefits your company provides you, we're talking interest rates, access to your funds, everything, cannot, under any circumstances, be less favorable than what the government's own EPFO offers. That is the number one non-negotiable promise.
All right, in any game, you've got players, right? So let's meet the two main players responsible for your money. You can think of them as the two guardians of your fund. There's the company you work for, and then there's the private trust it has to set up. And these two players, they have very different jobs. On one side, you have your employer, the company itself. Their main job, their biggest job, is to cover any and all financial losses to the fund. Period. On the other side, you have the board of trustees. They're the ones running the day-to-day show, investing the money, keeping your account records straight, and processing your claim.
And here's what's absolutely crucial to understand. Your employer isn't just some distant figure. They are the chairman of this trust. That means they are legally 100% on the hook to cover any loss to the fund. It doesn't matter if it's because of fraud, an accounting error, or even a bad investment decision. The buck absolutely stops with them.
Now, every good game has a rule book. And for this one, a huge part of that rulebook is about deadlines. These are the key dates that keep the whole game on track and make sure your money is where it needs to be when you need it to be.
Let's just walk through this timeline, because it's important. First up, your contribution and your employer's match, that has to be moved into the trust by the 15th of every single month. No exceptions. Next, if you file a claim for a withdrawal, they've got 20 days to settle it. And finally, you have to get your annual PF statement within 6 months of the financial year ending. And listen, these aren't just friendly suggestions. They are hard and fast rules.
And the rulebook isn't just about money and dates. It's also about keeping you in the loop. The trust is required to send you a monthly update, either by SMS or email, showing exactly what went into your account. Plus, they have to post the official rules of the trust right there on the company website for anyone to see. It's all about transparency.
So, you've got players and you've got rules. But who are the referees? Who's actually blowing the whistle if someone's offside? Well, that's the EPFO. They act as the ultimate watchdog here, with a whole multi-layered system of oversight.
Let's take a look at their chain of command. It all starts at the local level with the regional office, or RO. Think of them as the local ref on the ground, watching the trusts in their area. Then you go up a level to the zonal office. They're like the regional supervisor, watching over a bunch of local refs. And at the very top, you've got the head office in Delhi. That's the National Command Center, making sure the entire system is working as it should.
So what are these refs actually doing? They're not just sitting on the sidelines, trust me. They are actively scrutinizing the online reports that every single trust has to file each month. They conduct in-person annual compliance audits. And if anything looks even a little bit fishy, they have the power to order a special third-party audit to really dig deep. It's a system of constant checks.
Which brings us to a really important question. What happens when a company does break the rules? Well, just like in any serious game, there's a penalty box, and you do not want to end up in it.
The EPFO has this system called a priority matrix for violations. It's pretty straightforward. Category C is for minor stuff. You get a warning.
Category B is more serious. You get a notice to fix it now, or they start the process to cancel your exemption. And then there's Category A. These are the big ones. A Category A violation means they immediately start the process to take away the company's permission to manage its own PF. Game over.
Let me give you a very specific real-world example of a Category A foul. The EPFO has this online performance tracker that scores every trust on 6 different things, for a total of 600 points. If a trust fails to score at least 300 points, just half, for 3 months in a row, that's it. It's an automatic red flag and a Category A violation.
And that low score we just talked about, that's not the only thing that'll land a company in hot water. There are other automatic triggers for that dreaded Category A. For instance, just failing to file your online returns for 3 straight months. Or if the company itself has reported a financial loss for 3 years in a row. Any of these major slip-ups can send a company straight to the penalty box.
So, let's pull all this together. After hearing about players, rules, and referees, why does any of this really matter to you? Well, because your money isn't just sitting in some random company bank account. It's being protected by a highly structured, highly regulated game.
So let's just recap those layers of protection you have. 1. Your benefits are guaranteed to be as good as, if not better than, the government standard. 2. Your employer is on the hook for 100% of any losses. 3. Strict deadlines make sure your money is handled on time. And 4. A whole system of referees is constantly watching to make sure everyone is playing fair.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. This quote right here, it's from the EPFO's official procedure document. And the key words there are obligations as per the statute. This whole thing isn't some informal agreement, it is the law.
So now you're armed with information. You know the rules of the game, you know who the players are, and you know the referees are watching. So I'll leave you with this final question. Now that you know how it all works, what's the first thing you're going to check on your next PF statement? Thanks for tuning in.